Okay, it's a little after 3. We apologize for making you wait. Was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to, we have a very extensive agenda. So what we're going to do, first of all, is the secretary is going to read off 3 of the one-day licenses that are not related, I say again, not related to the folk festival. We're going to deal with the one-day licenses for sound and alcoholic beverages that are not related to the folk festival. So when your name is called, it's a little out of order. If you'll bear with us, we're going to try and make it easy on everybody. Mr. Secretary.
Commission now entertain the applications for alcohol beverages for beer and wine only, and 1 applicant for all alcoholic. The Reverend Charles Hughes of St. Anthony's Parish for Sunday, July 8, 2007, from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event is the St. Isabel's Feast, to be held at the parking lot at St. Anthony's Church at 893 Central Street. Also, Father Hughes has applied for entertainment, for live music and a disc jockey with sound system in the parking lot for the same date, July 8th, from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sarat Opera for Saturday, July 21, 2007, from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. He's applying for a beer and wine license. The event is a fundraiser for the Wat Temple, to be held at the Hellenic Cultural Center at 41 Broadway. Also, John Vitorino for an all-alcoholic license for Saturday, July 28, 2007, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The event is a members' annual picnic of the Portuguese American Civic League. The parking lot enclosed with tent, no sides, adjacent to the club building at 512 Central Street. And John Vitorino is also looking for sound system, for a disc jockey, and a two-member band, also for Saturday, July 28th, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's being the parking lot adjacent to the club building.
Okay, would you be kind enough to step to the mic and introduce yourself, please? Your name?
Sorat Opara, sir.
Your name?
John Vitorino.
Father Charles Hughes.
Okay. Have you all been before us before?
No, sir.
No. Have you been before us before? I know you, Father. I recognize the collar. Okay. You haven't. Okay, it's important that you understand. This is your license. It doesn't belong to the club. It belongs to you. Your name is going to appear on that license. Okay? Therefore, you are responsible. You should understand that. You should be sure that the people that you are raising money or running the party for have some type of insurance to protect you. God forbid something happens. If for any reason you see something, people are giving away drinks, you think that somebody's being served that shouldn't be being served. It's your license. It's your license. You walk up, you say, close the bar. If they don't, you call a policeman. If you have a policeman on duty, you go to the policeman and say, close the bar. It's my license. Because believe me, if there's an accident or a problem, they're going to know your name. And you're going to be looking around for all these people that cheered you on and say, hey, what a great job, Charlie, you're doing a great job. Until they get that lawsuit. And Charlie, who was that guy? Who was that masked man? I didn't know him. So you need to know you are responsible. If you are not personally going to run the bar, then you need to make sure the person or persons that you put behind the bar know how to check IDs, knows how to serve liquor responsibly, to look at people and to be able to tell if the guy just about makes it up there, he probably's had enough. He doesn't need another one, and he's not buying one for his grandmother. There's no free pouring, there's no putting full bottles on the tables or anything like that. It's a true drink. You walk to the bar, they get their drinks, they go back. I'd put the sign. Excuse me. I'd put a sign up. You know, if you're not over 80, show your ID. If you don't have an ID, sorry. It's my house, it's my family, it's my future. Sound. Okay, you're in a neighborhood. At 8 o'clock isn't bad. I know that you've run festivals before, and I'm sure Father's got the excommunication papers right there to sign for anybody that complains about the sound. But that being said, you have to be respectful of the neighborhood. But there's none of you that are running that late that I could see that could be a problem. Okay? Do you have any questions at all?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions at all? They drink the drinks in the area that you've gotten closed. They can't be walking out in the street or I'm just going over to my car. Not with the drink, you're not. You're drinking it here in the area that we've defined as the party. Okay?
Yes.
All right? Do you understand? Do you have any questions? Okay?
With that, I'll make the motion that we go ahead and grant the licenses for both the
Okay.
alcohol and the outdoor entertainment.
License is made to grant both the alcoholic licenses and the sound. Seconded, all in favor say yes.
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 All right.
Okay, we get a great day for it, and we don't want to see you back here. Take care, Father.
Mr. Chairman, we have two applicants for amplification of sound permits. Is John Marciano here? Yes, sir. John Marciano is here for the Lowell Festival Foundation, UMass Lowell, and Lowell National Historic Park, for live music sound system at the Boarding House Park, French and John Streets for the Lowell Summer Music Series, and for free fun for kids program on the following dates: June 29th, 30th, July 6th, 7th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, August 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9th, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 31st, September 1, and 7th, and the 8th, 2007. There are 32 dates in total. We have Wednesday hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday hours from 10 a.m. to 12 midnight. Also, Lowell celebrates Kerouac. Nancy Herbstam is representative for acoustic guitar with sound system at the Kerouac Park at Bridge Street, the foot of French Street, Saturday, July 7th, 2007, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
Okay, you know, you're in the neighborhood, you're down on Bridge Street there, you're in the neighborhood. I don't see that there's any problem. I can't imagine that you're gonna, crank the music so loud that it's gonna upset the neighbors. At least I hope not, okay? Make a motion to approve the two licenses.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Excuse me. The
Thank you.
time is wrong on this application, I just wanted to point out. It says 10 to 12, but it's 10 to 2.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you,
Speak
ma'am.
into the mic.
Hi, the time is wrong on this, it's actually 10 to 2, not 10 to 12.
10 to
10 to 2?
till
Yes.
2 in the afternoon?
Right.
Oh,
It's typo error.
Okay.
that won't change
Just
my vote.
wanted to make
If it
sure.
That
was 2
won't
in the
change.
morning, we
So,
might have had
yeah, I
something
was
to
just
talk
gonna
about.
say, if it's 2 a.m., you're out of
No,
here.
2 p.m.
All right, we're looking at
Okay.
4 hours, you're good?
Okay, yeah, that's no problem.
All right.
Our mistake. Just cross it out.
I will be mailing to you the license. In fact, if you would be kind enough to call the License Commission office tomorrow morning, so I can obtain a mailing address for you,
Okay,
and I'll mail that license to you with the correction on it.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do the folk festival licenses that have been applied for. To try to make it as easy as possible on those of you that are here, we're gonna go through all the licenses. As your name is called, come up to the stand. Once we've gotten you all up, then we're gonna have you introduce yourself. Some of you also have a license applied for amplified sound. Those of you that have applied for amplified sound, stay here. The others can leave if you get your license. This is the time to ask questions. This is the time, okay? We'll start on the licenses.
For a special one-day license to sell and dispense malt beverages and wine only, I'm Matthew Mason for the Folk Festival weekend, parking lot between 167 and 155 Market Street for Friday, July 27th from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. For all alcoholic beverages, Scott Plath for the Folk Festival weekend, an enclosed area in front of 91 Dutton Street at Cobblestones for Friday, July 27th from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Thomas Economo, possibly Jason Keys is here as assistant manager of the Dubliner for the Folk Festival weekend, an enclosed public area in front of 197 Market Street, Friday, July 27th from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Finbar Sheehan of the Old Court for Folk Festival weekend, an enclosed area of sidewalk at Middle Street and Central Street, enclosed area of Middle and Central, let's repeat, Friday, July 27th from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Saturday, July 28th, 2007 from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight. Zayed Ayub of Fortunatos, also for the weekend Folk Festival, sidewalk area adjacent to Fortunatos, sidewalk seating as it presently exists, the corner of Middle and Palmer Streets for Friday, July 27th, Saturday, July 28th, Sunday, July 29th, from 12 noon to 12 midnight each day. The applications for amplification of sound, there is Adriana Stefano of Cafe Paradiso for live music with sound system at 45 Palmer Street, a sidewalk cafe with tent. I'm sorry, this is for Thursday, July 19th, 2007, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight. But she also has one for the Folk Festival weekend for the sidewalk cafe with tent at Cafe Paradiso for Friday, July 27th, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight. Saturday, July 28th from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thomas Economo is president of the Tyler Perry Corp. Of the Dubliner, sound system at an enclosed public area at 197 Market Street for Friday, July 27th from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. And Scott Plath for live music, disc jockey with sound system on the public way in front of 91 Dutton Street for Friday, July 27th, and Saturday, July 28th, and Sunday, July 29th. Matthew Mason for live music with sound system, the parking lot between 167 and 155 Market Street for Friday, July 27th, from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th, from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Finbar Sheehan of the Old Court, Folk Festival weekend, acoustic band with sound system and enclosed public area on Middle Street, adjacent to the Old Court, Friday, July 27th, and Saturday, July 28th, from 12 noon to 12 p.m. each day. And Zayed Ayub of J&I Restaurant Incorporated, doing business as Fortunatos, Folk Festival weekend, live music, jazz, sound system, a sidewalk area adjacent to Fortunatos at Middle and Palmer Streets, Friday, July 27th from 12 noon to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 12 noon to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 12 noon to 10 p.m. Nicholas Petrakis of the Blue Shamrock for Folk Festival weekend, live music with sound system, enclosed sidewalk area at Palmer Street, adjacent to 105 Market Street, Friday, July 27th from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 28th from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 29th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Valerie Parker of Second World Folk Festival weekend for acoustic with sound system, a disc jockey, an enclosed public area at 172 Middle Street for Friday, July 27th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, July 28th from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, July 29th from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Valerie Parker also has amplification of sound application for the New England Culture Fest, which includes acoustic with sound system, bands, disc jockey at the Enterprise Bank parking lots at Middle Street for Saturday, September 1, from 12 noon to 11 p.m.
Okay, we're going to pass our paper to you. We're just kind of reviewing this right now, okay? And I'd like to start out by, just so that everybody's, aware, let's just start over here and step up to the mic and give your name and your place of business, so that everybody knows who's represented.
Sure. Matthew Mason, all of that and more.
Zayed Ayub, Fortunatos.
Bacchus, Blue Shamrock.
Finbar Sheehan, Old Court.
Jason Keys, The Dubliner.
Adrian DiStefano with Cafe Paradiso.
Valerie Parker, Second World.
Scott Plath, Cobblestones.
Okay, we're not missing anybody. All right. I'd like to start out by just having everybody kind of review this. I don't think that 10 o'clock Sunday evening is unreasonable. I know that a couple of you have till 12 midnight. There's going to be no licenses issued Sunday. Everything's going to stop at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a long weekend. I don't think that it's unreasonable to say by 10 o'clock you're going to be tired too. I'm also going to say that for all of you, Scott, Ray just noticed that you don't have any times on your sound system. We would assume that the sound system would be in conjunction as the same as your,
We're looking, same times as for your alcohol permits? All right.
okay. All right. Okay, before we go any further, just a few rules that are really going to be important because we had some problems. I'm going to ask Captain to speak to you also. One, you must have the license posted. If you got an outside area, outside seating, the license is to be posted outside on a stand or a frame. The police officers going around should not have to ask for the license. You've got a person standing where people are coming and going. The license should be right there. A drawing, you don't need to hire an architect. All you need to do is get a pencil and a piece of paper, make a little stick drawing of where your license covers, the area that you're licensed to be in. Okay, they're going to try to work with you. We had some confusion before. If everybody just puts a little bit of a drawing together and has it right there so the police officer doesn't have to say, well, you're not licensed to go here. That way everybody's on the same playing field. Okay, I know that, it's a big weekend. Everybody likes, we want to see you be successful. We want to see you make money. We want to try to keep the field as level as possible. Okay? Anybody comes back, any police officer comes back with complaints, I asked them to turn the noise. I had problems trying to get a hold of somebody to talk to them. Believe me, you won't be back here for a license next year. You all understand that, there's a new sheriff in town. We have people living in the downtown area. They obviously want to be a part of this, or they wouldn't have moved. I'm not so stupid as to believe that I bought a condo in the downtown area and it's the same as living in Belvedere. It's not. If I wanted to live in Belvedere, I would have bought a home in Belvedere. I wanted a little bit of excitement, but I don't want insanity. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is a difference. Okay? There is a difference between a little noise and a little excitement, a little festival, and total insanity, somebody trying to drown the other guy out or, trying to attract more or infringing on people's rights. Okay? Captain.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. A couple of things that we'd like to go over with respect to the one-day license, the outside amplified music permits. As the Commissioner already addressed the time limits.
Yeah, pull the mic right up to you.
I'm sorry.
There.
With respect to the permits, the time limits are very important. We do have a new downtown neighborhood, basically, and we're trying to make this a wonderful event for everybody, yourselves and the residents included, and all of our visitors. And past years, with times running closer to 2 o'clock and so forth, we had some pretty chaotic situations, which we hope to avoid through the planning process. So I commend the License Commission for abiding by those hours. That I think that'll be a big bonus, and I'm sure the downtown residents will thank you for that. The special seating permit areas that we're allowing, everybody needs to realize that if you have an existing outdoor cafe and you want to expand that for Folk Festival, an additional one-day license is required. So if you just have a sound amplification permit in today, that doesn't cover additional seating or going onto the street or anything like that. As far as the layouts for each of the venues, myself, Andy St. Ange, a representative of the fire department, probably health, and everybody else you can think of is going to be working in conjunction with you to plan your venues so that you do not encroach upon traffic, cause any hazards in that respect. You don't cause any hazards for pedestrians. We want to keep pedestrian walkways open. All of our ADA compliant crosswalks we have to maintain those ramps being open throughout the event. So we're going to work with you to actually come up with the plans so that everybody understands where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to have, and there is no mistake. As Mr. Bayless requested that there be a copy of, or actually ordered that there be a copy of the plan at the site, we're also going to have that in our operations manual. So should a conflict arise, the supervisor of the detail will have the availability to find the plan and hopefully mediate with the parties to come up with a solution that will address the needs of the community and provide for public safety and make this the wonderful event that it has been in the past years. The all alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks served outside during this time, we would request they be in plastic containers. We don't want bottles or glasses anywhere outside. It only takes a couple of knuckleheads to give us all a problem. So we'd really like you to abide by that. We're not looking to identify a glass with a container with a particular establishment, but certainly we don't want glass out there. And naturally, you need to comply with all the ABCC rules with respect to the service, the segregation of monies and serving areas, no commingling inside, outside, and that sort of thing. And I think the service will go along very well. As Mr. Bayless also ordered, you should have adequate staff on hand to monitor the premises, and we're particularly concerned, particularly on Friday night, with some of the roadways at least being partially open, that the pedestrian walkways be absolutely maintained clear at all times. So if a line is generating for your establishment, we'd appreciate if you got them off to the side so that we had that 4 feet and everybody was able to get by throughout the event. Does anybody have any questions of me before we go with respect to any of these things? If you have no questions now and you come up with one later, I'll be out of town for 2 weeks, but I'll be back in plenty of time for the Folk Festival, and we can address all of these things. The goal is to have all of our advanced planning done at least a week ahead of the Folk Festival, so we're not running into a situation of trying to mediate things between different vendors or anything at the last minute. So feel free to call me, and I will be contacting each of you with your permits so that we can address these issues. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you, Captain. Ray?
No, I mean, I'll just add, look, thank you all for what you're doing. You're going to make this a good event. I mean, the reason people move downtown is because we have stuff like this. I mean, that's the draw for downtown, so I think it'll be a good time.
Communication.
There are at least 4 outdoor sound permits that are in close proximity to each other. Please work it out, gentlewomen. I think, that shouldn't be an issue. If it does get to be an issue, please just, be considerate of the neighbors. Otherwise, I mean, I think everybody here is pretty professional, pretty good business people, no trouble. And I think, picking up a phone solves a lot more problems, than yelling and screaming at each other. So if there's any issues, I mean, I know you guys are down there, it's good business, and you really are driving the economy for that weekend, so good luck to you. Thank you. I'll make the motion that we grant the alcoholic licenses and the outdoor entertainment licenses.
Okay, remembering that, it's your license. You're taking the risk. You're going outside. Ultimately, the police have the right to close it down. If they say close it down, it's closed. So a spirit of cooperation can go miles. Last year, I think that a couple of folks had got their back up rather than just kind of calm down and talk things out. It usually works out. Nobody's out there to hurt you. We're out there to make sure you make money You have a great, successful weekend. The sun shines. You can't keep enough cold beer. It'll be wonderful. And Lowell will be put on the map again. Motion's made, seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank
And
you.
I will second what Ray said. Thank you for doing this. It is a risk, and we hope you make $1 million.
Mr. Chairman,
Good rental revenues that would generate.
just quickly before you jump into the next category for us, the festival with regard to sidewalk stand, I believe in the next 24 hours, there'll be 2 other applicants who will have to come before you at the next meeting, July 12th. The Mambo Grill, ownership of the Mambo Grill, as well as the ownership of the Under Impact at 160 Merrimack Street.
The next meeting's the last license.
Okay, and with that in mind, in the subject of the sidewalk stand permits,
Yeah.
I can start with that and then introduce one of the owners in regards to that alcohol. Commission is now going to take up the matter of the sidewalk stand permits for the, in relation to the folk festival, particularly the folk festival, as well as through the summer. Mary Walter, though she is not on your agenda, Mr. Chairman, that's clerical error. This is for the New England Quilt Museum for 18 Shattuck Street. This would be the folk festival weekend for July 27th, 28th, 29th. As well as Stella LLC, doing business as Centro, Patricia Stella Brokoff, the manager at 24 Market Street, also for the weekend folk festival. Lillian Kulapa, doing business as the Downtown Dancewear at 122 Merrimack Street. She would like to start the sidewalk stand permit license from July 6th to October 12th, fair weather days. The owner of the Giovanni Trends was unable to make it this afternoon. He asked that the matter be continued to the next meeting of July 12th. Valerie Parker is here of the Second World at 172 Middle Street. She is also looking to have a sidewalk stand license for the Folk Festival weekend, July 27th, 28th, and 29th. The manager of the Barnes & Noble is unable to make it this afternoon, and she would like that to be continued to the next meeting. And speaking of Centro, do you anticipate being open for business for the Folk Festival?
I'm hoping to be open that week. If not, I was wondering if I could put something outside, cook some food, and promote my business if I'm not opened. That's the question.
Well, certainly your sidewalk stand permit would cover you for that, but the question I would ask you is anything relating to alcohol beverages?
No.
Okay.
And she's already got Board of Health and everything as far as the kitchen and food.
So with regard to,
So she's got the victualer's license, right, to be able to serve food outside?
well, the sidewalk stand permit would give her permission to be
Okay.
outside for that weekend,
All right,
as a restaurant would.
yeah, all right, good. And,
Oh, this is the new one that's opening up on Market Street.
yeah, it's the one that's right next to the post office.
Okay, all right.
Got the signs all over about coming
Yep,
soon.
Yep, okay.
Not that I've noticed.
The question I had was if I don't get open for that weekend, if I could still do something outside to promote the business and, you know, do some kind of food outside.
The only thing I'm going to say this anyways at the end. The thing you have to be aware of, whatever you put out there, has to be something that you're going to normally sell in your normal course of doing business, okay? If you have any doubts about that, you should clear it with Andy or whoever's in charge. That's one of the hard and fast rules of the folk festival with folks going outside. They're only supposed to be putting out products or things that they normally carry in their everyday business inside, okay?
I hope to be open.
Okay?
That'd be great. Yes, please. Could everybody just introduce
Oh,
themselves for the
I'm
record?
sorry.
Mary Walton, New England Quilt Museum.
Kind of tough weather for quilts, isn't it?
Liliana, Downtown Dancewear.
Valerie Parker, Second World.
Valerie, did you get that resolved? Are you going to do tea or cookies or something? Weren't you the one?
No.
Okay.
Mary Walton, New England Quilt Museum.
Valerie, did you get that resolved? Are you going to do tea or cookies or something? Weren't you the one?
No.
You weren't the one.
Tea and cookies sounds nice, though.
I'm sorry. Who's going to do? Oh, see that?
I think it was Mary.
You were
Sorry.
correct. We are not going to do that. We found the logistics were just too much for us at this time. And since we found out that we're going to be in the children's section of the folk festival, we're going to highlight our children's books and toys and games.
Okay. All right. I just thought, okay. Any questions?
No, I have no questions.
No.
All right. So they've all got their insurance and,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, they all got their insurance, right?
Okay. We're still waiting on your insurance? Okay.
You have to have an insurance policy. You knew that, okay. Okay, any questions about anything?
All right,
I
so,
think you're the only one that's got sound, right, Valerie? You're the only one with sound.
all right. And for Stella, and as long as your insurance, we'll just vote on it subject to you having the insurance in
Yes,
place.
right now I'm on a builder's risk insurance, but as soon as I know my opening date, my insurance is going to be with a 24-hour period.
Okay.
So do I have
You
to
give
get
them-
that to
You,
you?
you need to have the insurance in place to have the
Yep.
outdoor stand.
Oh, I will,
So,
absolutely.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
You're all set. I hope the sunshine, maybe it's snow for you with the quilts, You'll be the only one there,
Get corner of the market.
It's like, standing there, it's raining soup, and you're standing with a fork, It doesn't seem to work out.
Raining soup.
Didn't you ever hear the expression your mother would say it would be raining pea soup? I'd be standing with a fork in my hands.
No.
Oh. Hey. Yeah.
That's a first.
Did you ever hear that expression?
Commission, the hearing is now to be open on the application for Two Cousins, Inc., doing business as Molly K's, Polly Regan, treasurer, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 489-501 Middlesex Street, for alteration of premises to include an outdoor patio, approximately 900 square feet, east side of the building.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Paul Regan, Molly K's Pub.
Okay, Mr. Regan, what are you going to do? Are you going to make a patio so people can go outside and smoke, huh?
Correct.
Yeah, sure. Captain Taylor, do you know these guys? Yes. Professionally or just know them? I'm sorry? Yes. Okay. All right. That's what we like to hear. How much? Oh, you're gonna put a door through.
Correct.
Okay. Well, just out of curiosity, is there any parking on that street?
On the street, yes.
Do they still park on both sides or one side?
Both sides.
They still do?
Yes. It's a one-way.
Okay. How many times have you been there?
I don't know. The police department is I didn't check.
Probably never then, huh? I mean, if you didn't check, if you'd been there a lot of times, they would have said, hey, these clowns are coming in.
No, we've been fortunate the last.
They haven't got caught yet, huh?
Not so much caught. We just we have great help, great staff.
Okay. No, I think it's a great idea. I can't see any reason why not.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Any issue with the notice?
The notice is right there.
Anyone speaking in opposition?
Yeah. Anybody, that's right. Anybody want to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? That portion of the hearing is closed. Anybody want to speak in favor? Nobody wants to speak in favor of these guys either. I wouldn't speak in favor of them either. Okay, that portion of the hearing is closed. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
This needs to go to Boston, right? This needs to go, can they start building? Don't tell me you already built it.
It's built, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, this is a matter that requires local and state approval on the alcohol aspect to the business.
Right.
So,
You can go out and smoke out there, but you can't.
but nobody is permitted to have alcohol out there.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Until the ABC
No,
approves the application.
We've been doing one-day licenses up until now, and then Ryan said because we applied for it,
Yeah.
we can't do the one-day licenses anymore.
Okay.
So we're just going to wait and
So-
hear from the ABCC.
All right, you understand that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Have somebody at the door, don't let anybody drift out the door with a beer, just gonna have a cigar. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next.
Commissioner, open the hearing on the allegations of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, the acting superintendent of police, against the licensee Mango Tango Inc., doing business as Mango Tango Hot Pot and Grill. San L. Thatch is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 602-608 Merrimack Street. The complaint is intoxicated patrons and disorderly conduct.
Okay,
My attorney is not yet present. He's on his way.
okay,
It'll be last on the-
that's fine. We'll go next. Your attorney hasn't showed.
Okay. Commissioner will now open the hearing on Atlantic Liquors, Inc., doing business as J. Silver Package Store, Michael J. Byrne, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage package goods store licensee at 424 Chelmsford Street, for sale to minor. Mr. Chairman, yesterday afternoon, received a telephone call from attorney Kevin Murphy requesting a continuance. He was not going to be able to make it this afternoon. He is legal counsel for the licensee Atlantic Liquors, Inc. I asked that he be forwarded by fax a letter of request, and that was received later yesterday afternoon, and he's requesting a continuance to July 12, 2007 at 5 p.m.
All right with you? Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, make a
Yeah.
motion.
I'll make the motion that we just continue it then until July 12th.
Second, all in favor, say yes.
Yes. Are you in favor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner will now open the hearing on the complaint against John Carlos Inc., doing business as Friends Restaurant and Pub. John Resendez, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 352 Market Street, for sale and service to a minor.
Hi, I'm John Resendez, and I represent Friends Restaurant Pub.
What did you say? I'm sorry. Can you say it again? I'm sorry. You introduce yourself?
I'm John Resendez. I live on 83 Stevens Street, Lowell, Mass., and I represent Friends Restaurant and Pub.
Hold on, where's...
Here. I'll take that one. It's 2 copies. It's underage.
What's the,
You have the reports?
yeah, what's the complaint? Huh? That's all right. Don't worry about it. Have you read the complaint? Have you read the complaint against you?
No, sir.
You haven't? Okay. Are you the owner, or what's your position?
I'm the owner.
You're the owner. You have a right to legal counsel. Do you know that?
Right.
Do you waive that right?
Yes.
You waive the right. Okay. Have you seen this complaint?
Yes.
You have. You've read this complaint.
Yes.
Police report? Okay.
Okay. This was a sting operation?
Yes, on May 24th.
Okay.
The detectives from the Lowell Police Special Investigations Unit participated in a state-funded 2007 underage alcohol enforcement program titled the Cops and Shops Program.
Yep.
Where local detectives team up with underage individuals who are under the direct supervision of the police detective. Excuse me. And they go into locations, establishments that serve alcoholic beverage, and see if the establishment is in compliant with underage drinking regulations or not. On that particular evening, on the May 24th, a total of 7 establishments were visited by the sting operation, and 2 of them were found in violation.
Okay.
One of them being, this is Friends on Market Street.
Okay. Tell me what happened. Were you there?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. Who was there?
My wife was there, and one of my oldest bartenders, which is Sid Aria, which is here, worked for me for about 9 years. And the cook was there.
Okay. Who served him?
Sid
You
Aria.
did. All right. Come on up here. You were the bartender, or
Yes, sir.
you were? Okay, how long have you worked there?
I've been working there for about 9.5 years now.
9.5 years. How many times have you gotten
Zero.
bagged?
Zero.
What happened?
That particular evening, I had just my regulars, it was a slow evening. I had all my regulars. One person came in. That's the only person I didn't ID. Person came in, drank the beer, left. Then the officers came in.
The person came in, drank the beer.
Correct.
I thought they weren't supposed to drink.
No, the underage individual operates under a very strict guidelines.
Right.
In terms of the procedure that's followed, and obviously they would not consume any of the
didn't drink the
alcoholic
beer.
beverage.
As of that day, all the regulars that I had, only one person out of that whole day. I started at 6. The person that came that I did not know drank the beer, drank half of the beer, left a $1 tip, and walked out. Then the officers came in not even 5 minutes later.
At that time, I had just arrived when the officers came in.
Well, I have, we've been through these things before, and I have a hard time believing that they drank the beer. Because normally if they get the sale, they're out the door.
Correct.
Because they're a minor. They're not encouraging them to drink beer. Okay? And they went to, where'd they go, 7 places that night?
Yes, sir.
And out of 7 places. Okay, so what are we doing about this?
Well, I got suspended for a day without pay, and actually, as of I think next month, I have to do a tip certification course.
Okay. How many times have we been over there? Have we had problems with this restaurant?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that we're aware of.
They actually were there probably about 2 months ago, and we actually received a letter from, I'm not sure where it's from, saying that they came in.
From the police department.
From the police department, say they came into our establishment and we passed.
Yes.
Yeah, I recall that.
So it put you to sleep.
Correct.
Yeah, you thought, wow, we're great. They won't come back here because they know we check. So it put you to sleep. All right, it's your first offense.
Correct.
What do you think?
First offense, I would recommend that we just place it on file. Look, you know that just because you pass once doesn't mean that you're going to pass twice. You got to pay attention, and it's a very random system for where they pick to go. So, you could get 2 visits in 1 week if it just comes out that way, luck of the draw. So you just got to be careful. I mean, from what I know of the establishment, it's a pretty good place. All right, it's well kept, it's well maintained, there's not a lot of trouble there, so. What can I tell you? It happened.
Okay, we're going to put the letter on file. You understand, they sell a machine to check these IDs.
Correct.
And the machine is only good if you ask for the ID.
Correct.
Okay? So, it's a family business. I'm sure that raised some family eyebrows.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. Okay? And hopefully it will. All right? And hopefully we're not going to see you back, and we're going to put the letter on file. Believe me, if I say to, if we have another one and this letter pops up, we probably have to give you some remedial reading courses. Okay?
Correct.
All right, I got a motion to place the letter on file. I'll second the motion. All in favor, say yes.
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 And like the chairman pointed out, I mean, it is a family business, so you don't want to endanger that. Okay?
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay? Next.
Thank you. Commission will now open a complaint against the licensee Kilkenny Pub, Inc., doing business as Kilkenny Pub, Richard S. Barrett, the manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 660 Roger Street, for sale and service to a minor.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Timothy Sullivan. I maintain a law office at 112 Middle Street, Lowell, Massachusetts. I'm here today representing Mr. Richard Barrett, who is president of Kilkenny Pub, Inc. Mr. Barrett has owned Kilkenny Pub for 7 years, and during that period of time, he has had an exemplary record with both the License Commission and with the Police Department. On February 28th, the investigation unit of the Lowell Police Department made a covert sting operation to Kilkenny Pub and sent a congratulatory letter because they passed. On May 24th, 2007, Mr. Barrett's, what he considers to be his best bartender, who's a police officer with at the Tewksbury State Hospital, who's worked for all three owners there for a period of 20-something years, has never had a violation, served the undercover agent on behalf of the police department. That was Mr. Michael Fadden, who was the bartender. He's not here today. He's on duty at Tewksbury State Hospital. My client is most careful in the conduct of his business and requests that this matter, in light of his past history and the carefulness with which he conducts his business, would request that this matter be placed on file and with no further action, and only considered in the event of a future violation. Thank you. And I have Mr. Barrett here that can testify as well, if you would like.
Let me get this right. The bartender is a Tewksbury State Hospital policeman.
Right.
And he's the one that served
He's the one that served. So this guy was good, Mr. Chairman, whoever the policemen have going.
Not that good.
No,
Not that good.
I mean, he's a good undercover man because...
Oh, yeah, I think the undercover man is being complimented for being...
No, absolutely, the undercover man is being complimented.
Do you know these people?
No, I don't believe we have any...
That's a good thing, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me?
That's a good thing.
I know that. That's why I always ask. People think I'm being funny when I say, do you know them? If he says I don't know them, that means, obviously they've stayed out of the radar screen, but they got caught.
They got caught.
Okay? And, you get lulled to sleep after a while, and I'm sure that the gentleman, what he obviously is trying to earn extra money or supplement his living by, and now, he's jeopardized your position.
Right.
And it's hard sometimes to make people understand that. That one drink can cost you a livelihood. And fortunately, maybe that one drink was served, and that's your wake-up call. And hopefully it is. Because the next drink doesn't go so easy. The next one doesn't go down easy at all. Okay? With that and with reassurances from counsel, I'll make a motion that we place the letter on file. Hopefully we don't find it again.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Motion made and second. All in favor say yes.
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 Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wayne.
Thank you.
28.
Is legal counsel for Mango Tango here? Commissioner will now open the hearing on the allegations of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, the acting superintendent, against Mango Tango Inc., doing business as Mango Tango Hot Pot and Grill, Sand Thatch manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 602-608 Merrimack Street for sale service to intoxicated patrons and disorderly conduct.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Robert Saltzman, appearing on behalf of Mango Tango. Present also is San Thatch, who's the manager of the establishment, and a gentleman that I know to be Junior. Fullermain Colomon. I have also, for the board's consideration, just
Thank you.
It's, Mr. Chairman, just as a brief preliminary matter, it's my understanding that this does not concern the serving of minors. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's service to an intoxicated person and disorderly conduct.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Fair enough. Thank you.
Have you read the complaint?
I did.
Okay. Has your client read the complaint?
Excuse me?
Has your client read
She
the
has.
complaint?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want it read into the record, or will you waive the reading?
I waive the reading, Your Honor.
Okay. I would ask that Captain Taylor just give a brief outline of the complaint.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you, Captain Taylor for the Police Department.
Is that on?
I believe it is, yes. Let me see if I can get a little closer. This incident pertains to a May 20th altercation in the early morning hours at the Mango Tango establishment. And essentially what happened, Mr. Chairman, was there were two individuals who created a disturbance inside the location. They were taken outside. They were very belligerent, very hostile and combative to the officers. Eventually, both individuals were placed under arrest. The officers were on detail assignment being paid by the establishment at this time. And essentially what the complaint entails is that both arrestees were intoxicated to the point of the belligerent and disruptive behavior. The only other factor mitigating this is that there's reference made in this complaint to another complaint on October 19th, 2006, which would make this the second complaint by the police department against this establishment in this calendar year. This year. I do have the arresting officer here to testify
Okay.
if it's necessary.
Why don't we hear from the the officer? If you get up to the mic, please identify yourself for the record. And
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Officer Naren Ma of the Lowell Police Department. And on the night of the 20th of May, there were two individuals that were having a problem. And there was numerous times I told these two individuals to just leave the area, get in their
you
car.
work in a private detail? Were you work?
Yes.
You were?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. And myself and Officer Conception escorted these two individuals from the Mango Tango all the way down to the Jean d'Arc Credit Union, which is on near Cabot and Merrimack Street. And all these times we told them several times to just go. We didn't want to lock them up or anything like that. We just tell them to leave the area. That would solve our problem. But they refused. One of the arrestee challenged me to a fight. He wants me to take my badge off and fight him. At one time, he pushed one of the defendant away, and then he wanted to get a piece of me. But that's basically the whole issue with these two individuals.
Do you think that they had a couple of drinks and they got their beer muscle up, or do you think and they were aware of what they were doing, or do you think they were totally intoxicated?
I believe they were aware of what they're doing. They were upset that they were getting kicked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there any kind of an altercation inside the bar?
That issue, I was not sure, but there was some sort of altercation. That's why they were escorted out by the staff, the bouncer, and myself and Officer Conception were outside. And once outside, we handled these two guys, and they didn't want to listen.
Okay, you were outside the bar when this happened?
Yes.
Okay. Did anybody at the bar call in?
I don't have that information. I don't know. Call in to the police station?
To the police station?
No, I don't think so, because we were there already. The police were there. Yeah.
I mean, it's not up to me. I'm just wondering, you were working a private detail. Why were you outside on the bar? Why were you in the bar?
We were outside and inside, so we're, in and out.
An outside patio?
Well, what happens, Mr. Chairman, is the officers are being paid by the establishment, the Mango
Right.
Tango. And so sometimes they could be inside the bar, sometimes they may be monitoring the threshold as they're allowing people in and out to make sure there's compliance with checking IDs and things like that. It just so happened that when this incident broke out, they happened to be just outside the bar, literally at the threshold when this happened.
It's a street level bar, so we're in and out.
Okay. All right. Sir, if you would, please. Up there, I want to ask you a question. Okay? Okay, was there a fight inside the bar? Or were they just...
It was an argument. It was a female argument that
They were
started from inside, that we immediately took action and brought them outside. These two guys were with this female that we brought out first because we wanted to leave one female inside to make sure that the other, female has left the building, left the whole...
The females were the ones that started?
Female was the one that it was an argument. It didn't even escalate to a fight or fist fight or anything like that.
Okay.
It was an argument that we jumped in the middle of it before it happened, brought it outside, and we asked the details that night to escort them out of the establishment.
Okay, where was the female when they came out?
She was also outside.
Did she go up the street with you?
No.
No.
She was somewhere, we didn't have to deal with her. She was not an issue.
She left.
She was outside, yeah.
Okay.
But these two individuals were.
All right. What do you think?
I'm saying that at least one of them has a bit of a history. I'm saying he had a warrant outstanding from Concord. One of the individuals involved in the assault on the police officers had a criminal record from Concord.
Just very briefly.
Yeah.
Nothing happened of any moment inside the bar. There was...
Well, something happened. They wouldn't have had him removed.
Actually, what you had was, you had two women, this Rebecca Lee and another individual, had an argument.
Okay.
Which never escalated into anything substantial. She was escorted out of the place, and the two gentlemen in question, Mr. Nguyen and Mr. Deng, sought to intervene at the very earliest stages to calm people down. They thought that if people calmed down, perhaps everybody would get to stay. Rebecca Lee is brought outside. She's told she cannot go back inside. These two individuals are also outside for having interfered, and they're told they can't go back inside. Now, what happens next is nobody's told they can't go back inside because they're under the influence of anything, and that's also involves the police officers. These individuals had been there probably about 20 minutes at that time. Nobody had observed any indication of intoxication up until then, and they had otherwise conducted themselves as one would expect. They were calm, they were respectful. But once this happened, where this individual was told she had to leave, then they become involved. And I think that outside, as the officer indicated, you don't have people. You have people who were aware of their circumstances, who were aware of what they were doing, and they were being escorted to their car. By the officers, and I would submit that the officer at that moment would have had no indication himself that people were under the influence, or he wouldn't have been bringing them to their cars. I would submit that no finding should be made with reference to the to either issue with respect to the individuals being highly intoxicated or with reference to the disorderly conduct. Nothing happened inside. It only happened after they were told they couldn't stay, and it only happened really down the street that there was any difficulty. Everybody had the same opportunity to observe these people when they came in. There was no problem when they came in. And I would submit that this was really a case of the situation escalating after it sunk in that they weren't getting back inside.
Captain Taylor.
Well, I guess the situation is, Mr. Chairman, that while, certainly the establishment did hire the detail officers, they handled, once the disturbance was initiated, they handled it appropriately by bringing the disruptive patrons to the attention of the officers, letting the officers deal with it. That's exactly what we encourage establishments to do. The sole issue in this particular situation is the level of intoxication of the patrons. You know, one recommendation would be here, where they did have a previous complaint letter, could be that this could be placed on file for a period of time, delay any action on this for a period of 3 to 6 months, and make a determination at that time whether there's been good conduct on the part of the establishment.
It's not a bad suggestion.
No. I tend, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Give me your thoughts on it.
It's not a bad suggestion. I mean, my concern is I don't want to set a precedent where suddenly bartenders or bars are afraid to have detail officers down there because they're afraid that if anything happens, they're going to get shut down. So what's going to happen then is they're going to not have anybody, and then you're going to have bar fights breaking out, and you're going to have people vandalizing stuff.
And clearly, we don't want that either.
Yeah, clearly. And I mean, I know that anybody who's going into the bar is going to be drinking, and they're going to be intoxicated to some degree or another. So I guess what I'm looking for is the evidence that they were, you know, not just that alcohol played a factor, because, I mean, it's always going to be a factor once they start drinking, but that they were visibly intoxicated, and that they were served while they were visibly intoxicated. You know, that they didn't get, you know. Now, do we know how long the individuals were there before they were escorted out? I mean, were they club hopping that night, or?
Actually, they were in there at, they get in there at 20 minutes of 1, according to my client's affidavit. That seems to be confirmed across the board with the security staff. They're not, the people that came in were not wholly unknown to the place. And they, again, they showed no signs of anything when they came in. They get in there at 20 minutes of 1. The argument happens probably 15, 20 minutes into their stay. And again, you know, it was an argument. And they handled it. I mean, it's an instance where, you know, they intervened in an argument. And the people that were subsequently arrested were not the parties to the argument.
I tend to, I'm looking at it and I'm having, you know, I think the officers did the correct thing. I think the bar did the, obviously, you know, there was no fight inside the bar. I guess they did a pretty good job. You know, unfortunately, and you know what bothers me in the whole thing is what you just said, they knew these people. That always bothers me when somebody says, you know, you got somebody that's a troublemaker and they get in the bar. I mean, you got to know your customer. You got to, you know, I mean.
Well, this is, what I'm saying is that it's, what you have here is something that's very out of character to the individuals who are involved.
Well, obviously not to one of them. One of them's got a warrant.
Right.
So one of them has been in trouble.
Elsewhere, you know,
we were unaware.
All my clients know is what they see in front of them.
All right, I'll go along with that and say you were unaware of it.
And the other thing is just, there was a mention of an earlier episode. I would just remind the board that that episode had to do with individuals who were not permitted inside the establishment.
Right.
That there was something that happened outside where there was a fight.
Right.
But these people, again, they were kept out by security. And since that episode, which was back in, I want to say October of '06, we've had the security as well as the detail police. And again, that's something that's going well. And I would submit that this episode is an indication of that. And the fact that my clients were quick to, you know, these people that are having the argument, they got the quick hook, and they were taken outside.
It's a tough business.
Let me ask,
it's a tough business.
Is your client working with the Middlesex District Attorney's Office to set a condition of bail that these people not, any of the ones that are being criminally charged, that they not be able to enter the establishment again?
Happy enough to abide by any conditions such as that.
I mean, you know, I mean, obviously, if you got people who are going to be in whatever condition, I don't want them, you know, coming into the establishment and then leaving and assaulting police officers. I mean, that's obviously going to be a problem. I almost think we ought to keep a list of people. I think we almost ought to keep a ban list.
Just these people are not permitted in the bar. It's in the book. They're not allowed in. End of story.
Good. Okay, I'm going to make a motion just to place it on file without a finding.
All right, I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, you know, and it's, you got to, it's a tough business. They got to know that. I mean, I wouldn't own a bar today. I go out collect cans to make a living. Seriously, okay? I think the police officers should be commended. They obviously didn't have enough to arrest the people right there. I mean, you put in here about go with your car. I kind of take offense at that because it's obvious that police officers wouldn't walk somebody intoxicated and put them in their car. That's obvious.
Oh, Mr. Chairman,
This
with reference
guy-
to that wasn't intended to give offense.
I hope
I'm
not.
saying that the
I hope
officer
not.
was in the same position as my client was,
Okay.
which is they're going on the basis of what they see in front of them.
and that's why I
If
just
he
made
sees
that
something
motion.
down the street, that's an altogether
And that's
different
why
story.
I just made that motion, because I'm believing it's not.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay? These guys have a tough job.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. They're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. And, and the people that own these bars, most of them are just trying to make a living. But it only takes that one person. I mean, not enough said. You're here today and you get paid for, and I'm nothing against that, don't get me wrong, but you're their attorney. They lose a day's pay trying to get, and that's what these people that get into these situations don't understand. The clowns that go into these bars and cause these problems, they're probably out at somebody else's bar this afternoon, and you guys are all tied up here. You got to keep that list going and say, these people aren't allowed in.
Absolutely not, and completely in agreement on that score. And what I'm saying is that on the issue of somebody being obviously intoxicated, they had to come in. Everybody gives them the once-over on the way through the place.
Okay.
They're being watched while they're there, and then there's a problem. They get escorted outside. There's still no indication of intoxication. It may be they get down the street and they're half crazy. I understand what the officers are dealing with here.
Okay.
And it's not readily apparent to everybody, my clients included.
Okay. Take care. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, counsel.
Mr. Chairman, we have a communication from Captain Robert Demore of the Lowell Police Department. A police report of tenants at 114 and 120 Cabot Street. Possibly Brian Leahy, the Assistant City Solicitor, might want to comment as to what the License Commission may do or should do.
Yeah. Pray tell.
You vote to take out a complaint against them in Housing Court or Superior Court. The licensing authority is the party that would...
We already had a motion, it's not licensed
Well,
anymore.
we didn't renew his license because he didn't have any of his ducks in a row. He didn't have his inspections done. And are you telling us it requires our vote in order to take out the complaint?
Yes. The law says the licensing authority can take out a complaint, and my guess is the only way the licensing authority can take any action is by formal vote.
Okay.
All right.
I wasn't sure if that was a building inspector department or issue, but if it requires our
It
vote,
says-
I mean, I'll make the motion.
It says the licensing authority or an officer of the city or town. I don't know what that officer of the city or town means, but I know what the licensing authority means, and that's you two. That my guess is that you would vote it, that the executive secretary could prepare everything, and then ask, and then someone, it doesn't matter who files it in terms of physically filing it. It's the licensing authority has started the ball rolling to get the complaint to issue.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion then that the complaint be taken out. For
I guess my
operating-
question was procedurally, once the commission votes to have it, put the complaint in motion, would it be the executive secretary, or would we have the police prosecutor file the complaint? Somebody literally has to sign the complaint.
I mean, I don't think it matters one way or the other.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I just...
I thought when we voted not to renew it, that was it. It goes to housing or something, they get rid of them. I mean, that's a dump. The neighbors will be...
Once you voted not to renew it, that means he had no license. And from there are two components, and I believe the building department has taken out criminal complaints for operating an unlicensed establishment. That is separate and distinct. This, I believe, what was being asked is, the second prong is if you want to enjoin them from operating illegally, that the licensing authority takes out a complaint, essentially to get an injunction to have them cease and desist, which is a separate component from the criminal portion of it.
Okay, so you're looking basically for a civil injunction then? And
Right.
Right, I mean, I'll be honest. Ultimately, what I would love to see is he gets all of his ducks in a row, gets the building up to code, gets the fire inspections passed, gets the health inspections passed, gets the tenant situation under control, and then we go back to licensing it and keeping it regulated.
Right, and that would be one of the questions. I'm assuming that, you know,
I mean,
he
that's the
claimed-
long-term goal, is we'd rather have him comply and being, you know.
But he claimed in early May that he was just missing one or two things. Has he come in and reapplied since then?
Okay. May I? Okay. Now, the situation is, the lodging house application, you had a hearing, well, in so many words, you had a hearing. He was present, James Euling.
Yep.
He did not meet certain criteria at that moment in time.
Right.
Such as he claims, he needed to have reference to the inspectional services and also in reference to the health department. There was the health department issue to do with a dumpster, and secondly, there was the inspectional services, as we knew it at the time, the certificate of occupancy. So neither one had met the criteria in order for the license to be renewed in a timely manner, which takes effect May 1. This particular property, the two buildings are being used as if it is a licensed lodging house. Technically, under Chapter 140 of the General Laws of Massachusetts, he is in violation, in compliance with Chapter 140. As Brian has just pointed out, the aspect to the two-prong effect, inspectional services can go after certain violations in the housing court, technical aspects to the property. The License Commission can go after the property owner for not complying with the statute to do with lodging house license. He obviously has more than 4 people living on the premises of each building, and by virtue of definition by lodging house, 4 or more unrelated, not within second degree of kindred, constitutes lodging house. Technically, he's a violation. So if he's to continue operating the two properties, my understanding of the statute would be that he would have to have less than 4 people living there, not more than 4 living there for certain. So he is continuing to allow people to live there. Obviously, the police have reason to go in there unrelated to license of lodging house, unrelated to inspectional services, but in this respect to your action, the fact that he has not come back to you within the last 30, 45 days to ask for the license to be reinstated, since he has not shown any evidence that he is in compliance as part of the criteria for a renewal, i.e. inspectional services, certificate of occupancy, health department approval, and also fire prevention. So all of them, there are deficiencies with the two properties. It stands to reason that I can draft a communication to the law department, address it to the city manager, attention to the city solicitor, asking that if your vote goes forward, to request that the matter be taken up before the housing court to cite the property owner for violation of the statute, as you gentlemen deal with the action of the license of lodging house. Okay.
I'll second the motion. Myself personally, you know, I don't want to disagree with my fellow commissioner, but I'd like to see somebody convert them to apartments and get rid of that. I mean, those people over there are living a nightmare with that thing going on the way it is. I mean, we've had folks in that own property, that have kids.
Right,
They deserve better than that.
That would be discussion if he ever, you know, there's going to be the
Right.
problems in housing court,
I
and if he ever
understand.
brings an application again,
Right.
that is when.
Right. I
those
mean,
issues would be raised.
my statement
No,
earlier
I
is not
agree.
for a preference of a boarding house over
Right, no,
apartments
I
over
know.
condos.
Boy, I mean,
It's basically, I'd really rather have the building owner back in compliance.
Right.
And if this is what it takes to do it, then we make the motion, it's been seconded.
Second, all in
All
favor,
right.
say yes.
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 I think for the technical question of who should sign it, it's kind of a tactical, okay, if you'll sign it then, that's fine.
Oh, I won't sign it, because then it would make me potentially a witness.
All right, I would ask, why don't we use the police prosecutor, because if he does come back in and apply for a license, his first point of contact is going to be Ryan.
I would suggest if we're going to housing court, this is something that could be worked out between the executive secretary and also the building department, since they already have filed complaints regarding to the violations of building.
Yeah, but I think Ray's idea, having the police
We
prosecutor
could use
sign
police
it,
prosecutor, or we could use the
takes it
building
out, 'cause,
department, building
you know,
inspector.
this guy's in the office downstairs, and he catches the wrath from everybody, okay? When the manager moves him upstairs, you guys are gonna
Right. Well, we just want to make sure then that if the police prosecutor did it, that it was taken out in housing court as opposed to Lowell
Lowell's,
District Court.
right.
It is.
Okay.
It wouldn't be taken out of Lowell District Court, the clerk's office? It'd have to go to housing court, the clerk's office?
We can talk about.
Okay, we'll figure out the details.
All right, whatever.
Yeah. No, as for
You know
the
the
vote
intent
for
of what we
authorization,
want.
that's what we want, yeah.
Okay. So
We want it enjoined and.
All right.
So am I to
Back in
understand now that
compliance.
even though you've passed the motion, do you want a communication from the License Commission Office to the city manager asking that the matter be?
I look at it very simply. They have voted that they want to proceed taking, getting an injunction to enjoin them from illegally operating a lodging house. We can sit down and work out the logistics of how then that will then be implemented.
Okay.
Go ahead. What else we got here? What's this?
Mr. Chairman, this is going to be a second shot at the apple for the licensee Kyoto Japanese Inc. This is an application for a beer and wine restaurant license for premises at 16 Merrimack Street. Kyoto Japanese Inc. has legal counsel. The counsel is named Peter Lim. He has been before you previously at the last two meetings. The matter of the application by his client, for all intents and purposes, they failed to comply with Chapter 138, Section 15A of the General Laws of Massachusetts, in fact, in terms of proper notification to abutters. So there was a written request by Attorney Peter Lim to request that the licensing board re-advertise the application, and I communicated that matter to you earlier, between the last meeting after the last meeting of the 14th prior to this meeting. So the fact is that the legal notice is scheduled to be published in tomorrow's paper, which is Friday, June 29th, in the Lowell Sun. The attorney has the list of abutters. There are condo owners. Each and every unit property owner has to be notified of the hearing by the applicant through the attorney, and it has to be mailed within 3 days of the date of its publication, and that would be by Monday, I believe that's Monday, July the 2nd, excuse me, and return receipt, white postal slip, return receipt request, and then also an affidavit attesting to the fact that the notification had been done. There is also within a 500-foot radius, there is property of the Lowell School Department, and the superintendent of schools also needs to be notified by the applicant's attorney on this matter. To date, I have not heard back from the attorney, but I have communicated to the attorney by way of fax, and also I have mailed the communication to the attorney's office, announcing that the legal notice would be published in Sunday, July 29th. Also, Mr. Chairman, there will be another legal notice published in tomorrow's paper, June 29th, for hearing to be July 12th, 2007, at 5 p.m. The application by Kebab Inc., doing business as Kebab Indian Grill, Krishna Yalamanchili, president, for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 1270 Westford Street. That's unit number 10. The premises to include 2 rooms for restaurant, a bar area, kitchen, and approximately 9,300 square feet. This is the premises that was previously, in year 2006, occupied by a restaurant known as New Paradise Buffet. The present application and the corporate offices in this application have no relation to the prior licensee. So that would be for hearing on July 12, 2007. Also, the Kyoto Japanese application is also for hearing July 12, 2007.
Did they work out?
Mr. Chairman, is my understanding through the attorney's office who's representing the applicant, Kebab Inc., the attorney's office is Attorney Andrew Zaroulis, that there is scheduled to be a hearing before the Zoning Board of Appeals for July the 9th to ascertain what might constitute suitable parking, and I believe it's a request for a variance.
Okay. Anything else? Anything you'd like to bring up? Anything you want to bring up? Ray? Nothing? Take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
We're coming home, Benjamin.
That's not another one of the phrases.